Well, Neil, it's another beautiful day here in North Carolina. No rain. It's not too hot. I want to go play golf this afternoon.
It's nice and cool and it feels like fall and it's only August 22nd. So go figure. I'm sure we'll warm up again. Our
Oh, yeah.
topic today is Social Security isn't keeping up. Tariffs, inflation, and the silent squeeze on seniors. Alan, with the average Social Security check sitting just over $2,000 while monthly expenses hover around $5,000, what are retirees supposed to do close that massive gap?
Well, I guess die sooner. But uh, no, I mean, there's a lot of things out there. You got to have some assets to do this. And a lot of people don't have assets. They rely on their 401k. The average 401k only lasts 4 to 7 years. And but that's it's very sad that people in retirement are relying on Social Security. And by 2033, Social Security is supposed to run out of money, and what's left is going to be they're going to have a 27% cut in their Social Security. So there's huge problems. Things can be taken care of, but some of the stuff that like inflation, I call it the stealth tax because you pay this and you don't know you don't know it's there until you go to the grocery store or something. And with the tariffs and everything, I think the tariffs they're going to pay for themselves. It may take 2 or 3 years to do it, but I think the tariffs are absolutely great. Why should we be paying tariffs to anybody else? Just like Canada, we're paying 158% tariffs on dairy products, and we got a tariff on them for 10%. Yeah, I love what Trump did. He makes it equal for everybody. Then he uses that as a massive weapon in the world stage too. Just like solving wars, he solved 6 wars in 6 months, and hopefully get this thing taken care of in the Ukraine.
Mm-hmm. We're hearing that the 2026 COLA may only be around 2.7. Why isn't that enough? And how does inflation and rising tariffs make that situation worse?
Well, I think the inflation rate is 2.9% right now. I'm not sure because it fluctuates each time, but the government doesn't doesn't count everything in there. They don't count food or fuel prices, but fuel prices have come down tremendously. Food's starting to come down, but that's not enough. And there's got to be some type of program out there that can help people. But again, you've got to have a plan for retirement. And I say this many times, Neil. People spend more time planning their summer vacation than they do their retirement. And when they become 60 years age or 55 years, oh my gosh, Alan, I need to start doing something for my retirement. What can I do? I said, well, it's not too late, but you may have to work longer. That's one thing. You just put it in your mind. You're going to have to work longer because there's things you can get and there's things you can't get. But the number one fear in retirement, Neil, is running out of money before you run out of life. And you got to have guaranteed income in retirement, enough guaranteed income just to pay for the basics in life. And people with guaranteed income, Neil, live a longer, happier, and healthier and less stressful life because they don't have to worry about that.
That's so true. And that's the thing. People worry about money more than ever now, Alan. And I mean, and it's something that everyone has to do. And I think the whole dream of retirement, if you don't contact Alan Porter, there's no retirement. Forget about it. Because everyone, the current way people are looking at retirement, it's just not going to guarantee income for life. And that's the most important thing. Just because you have a lot of money now, you're going to run out of that and faster than ever, aren't you? It's going to be
Well,
gone.
there's many things that can happen. You can have $2 or $3 million in your portfolio. But what happens if you are afflicted with long-term care? Long-term care right now costs between $50,000 to $200,000 a year. It goes up by 6% per year. And if you don't do the right protection of this, it's called a section, or it's a trust to not affect the means test of Medicare Part B, and you avoid the means testing of Medicare Part B. But if you don't do it within 5 years of becoming afflicted, you need long-term care. As an example, you got a married couple, they're 65. 70% of all Americans are going to need long-term care at some point in their life. And their surviving spouse, the other person is in long-term care. The government will confiscate your assets to pay for the person in long-term care. And sometimes with Alzheimer's, dementia, these people could be in there 4, 5, 6 years. And if that, you may have $2 million in that account, but by the time the government gets through taking that money to pay for long-term care, you're going to have nothing left. The spouse is left with one car, one house. I think it's approximately $137,000 and a small subsistence allowance. And they thought they had retirement all taken care of. The person that really gets hurt with long-term care is the caregiver.
Totally.
And I think 80% of women out there end up being the caregiver. I'm not sure on that statistic right now, but it's something that people need to plan for, and they don't do it, Neil.
All right. So a recent report shows 61% of retirees couldn't afford to miss even half of a Social Security check. What's your message to people relying on Social Security as their main income?
Well, don't. You've got to have something else besides Social Security because, like I said, in 2033, it's scheduled to run out of money. And even if they do it, I mean, what they'll do is they'll just lower the payments by 27%. So they can't do that. They can't rely on Social Security as your main form of income unless you live on a farm, grow your own food, and your house is paid for. Even there, I don't think you can do it.
No,
because you're living in poverty. But it depends on your assets because we'll get this. I'll answer this in another question down the road here.
absolutely. What income strategy do you recommend to help retirees offset inflation, especially when traditional fixed income just isn't enough anymore?
Well, let's say that they're saving their 401k or a IRA or something like that, stock portfolio, and if they got $1 million in it, they're doing very well, they think. But it's not about rate of return in retirement. It's about distribution of your assets. And first off, if you have that money in a 401k or IRA, that money is not guaranteed. But say a 4% distribution rate. It used to be a safe distribution rate to last for 30 years, indexed at 3% for inflation. Well, that's 95. But the problem with that is all my it's not a problem. It is a problem because my financial strategies last to age 120. But if you have that $1 million and put it into a certain fixed indexed annuity, you'd only need $650,000 in that to buy this fixed indexed annuity and give you the same $40,000 a year guaranteed for the rest of your life. I don't care if that annuity accumulation value runs out. You're still guaranteed that money by the insurance company. Insurance companies are the strongest financial entity in the world today. They've been around for hundreds of years. They're the only financial institution that paid dividends during the Depression. And, that Susie Orman and Dave Ramsey say, well, insurance is a bad investment. Well, first off, it's not an investment. It's in an asset class all of its own. There's no other financial product that can provide the benefits and the protection for the family and the guarantees that so needed in retirement that a properly constructed fixed index or fixed annuity or cash value life insurance can deliver, whether it's whole life or index universal life. I know this for a fact. I've been doing this for over a decade and a half, and I've got 8 policies. I've got 5 index policies for myself and my wife for our retirement. I've got 1 whole life for a debt-free for life program that I show my clients, and I've got my other 2 whole life policies for my granddaughters for the college education, as it is the greatest college funding vehicle available, bar none. It beats the 529 plan all to pieces because it's self-completing for one thing, and there's so many restrictions, and now it's changed a little bit with the new changes that Trump's made, but still, there's not a better financial asset to pay for college than cash value life insurance when properly structured.
Many people assume it's too late to plan once they're in retirement. What's your response to that? And what can retirees do right now to regain some control?
Well, they need to change what they've got their assets in, especially if you're in like a 60%. And I don't like to talk about stock portfolio. I mean, everybody needs a stock portfolio, but when you become 65 and go to retire, You can't have all that because it's risk. You don't need risk in retirement. You need guarantees. So replace those bonds with a fixed and fixed indexed annuities, cut back on the risky investments, use safer investments, do different things with cash value life insurance that will provide, well, it eliminates the risk in retirement that a stock portfolio only compounds. I've gone over this several times, the sequence returns risk. People don't know about this, and it will decimate your retirement. The number one fear in retirement, running out of money before you run out of life. I can eliminate that. I can eliminate sequence returns risk. Another one that people understand, longevity risk, which is a risk multiplier. Because the older you get, more risk come into play. I can get rid of that. I can get rid of market risk. I can get rid of tax risk, government risk. I can protect you from lawsuits, liens, and judgments. I can protect you from probate. And I can also eliminate the taxation on Social Security and the means testing Medicare Part B, which will be in the thousands of dollars per year.
All right. The best place to reach you is go to 910-551-1046 or go to strategicwealthstrategies.com or email you at strategicwealth, the number 0 at gmail.com. Appreciate it, Alan.
You bet. And Neil, let me say one thing. I don't charge for my services, but I have a team of people that I work with, and they're specialists. And what I mean by specialists, Neil, let's say I'm your family doctor. I can treat you for minor illnesses, minor injuries. But if you need your knee operated on, you want the orthopedic surgeon, the specialist. And that's what I have in my team, top tax-specific attorneys and CPAs and other specialists in the field. And we collaborate together to provide solutions for people's financial problems.
All right.